All right, so let's see if the audio is okay. Yeah, perfect. How's it going, everyone? I hope you all are doing great. I am Dork Radu and I am back with another daily analysis. As always, we are going to start off with the Forex analysis. And to be more exact, I will start off with this beautiful trade on AUD CAD that as we speak is running in some very nice profits. Smashed TP2 on both of our entries and it is getting very close to the final take profit. Okay, and why not do a trade breakdown on it? So let's use the bar replay mode to show you all exactly when I decided to send this trade. I think it was around here, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 4 or 8 hours afterwards, doesn't really matter. But what I saw was a impulsive break of structure caused by this bullish leg. Okay, after the break, I clearly saw that imbalance was left behind as well because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block right here that was lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Okay, and then the last thing that I was waiting for was a corrective pullback. So let's play the price and we can see that this pullback was looking pretty nice and corrective. Okay, we had another retracement there which signals some bullish pressure, and then we triggered right here. That's when we triggered the first entry. We had a then we triggered the second entry as well right there. Okay, we faced a bit of drawdown, but after that price reversed and went straight to the upside, smashing the first to take profits on both of our entries. Okay, and like I said, as we speak, it is running towards the final target. So let's see if that one will trigger as well. Okay, but nonetheless, it was a great setup, and that's exactly why I decided to take it. Okay, next up we have AUD USD with a bearish opportunity. Right here we have a bearish shift in momentum. We can see that we have a liquidity sweep followed by a impulsive break towards the downside. Okay, after the break I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that, as we can see, is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The daily is also bearish on the trader graph, and this pullback looks pretty corrective to me. Okay, we have a lot of candles. We also have this week right here signaling some bearish pressure. So yeah, I really like this setup so far, hence why I decided to take it and send it in the Discord as well. On Euro AUD, we have a bullish setup. Okay, right here we had a break of structure with this bullish push. Okay, very aggressive bullish momentum here. We can see that after the break, I was able to identify this unmitigated order block right here that is lining up perfectly with the area of interest. And this pullback looks also pretty corrective. Okay, we can see that we have a lot of wicks, which is exactly what we want. Okay, hence why this is a valid setup. On NZD USD, we have a bearish opportunity. Right here we have a bearish shifted momentum similar to AUD USD. We have a liquidity grab right here, followed by a very impulsive break of structure to the downside caused by this bearish leg. Okay, very clear to see that this was a aggressive break. Why? Because imbalance was left behind. I was able to identify this fair value gap right here that, as we can see, is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Right above it, we have a bearish trader order block as well, which is a good added confluence, and the daily and the 4-hour are both bearish on the trader graph as well, which is exactly what we want. And this pullback looks also pretty nice and corrective. Okay, hence why this is again a valid setup. On Euro CHF, I saw a textbook break towards the upside, continuing this overall upwards push. Okay, with this bullish leg right here. After the break, I was able to identify this fair value gap that is lining up with the area of interest. Daily and 4-hour are both bullish on the trader graph, and now the last thing that we need to wait for is a continuation of this corrective pullback. Okay, towards our fire zone. On GBP CAD, we have another bullish opportunity. Okay, right here we broke structure to the upside very impulsively with this bullish leg. Before that, we also swept liquidity right here, which is a good added confluence. Okay, and after the break, I was able to identify this small fair value gap right here that is lining up with the point of interest, and above and below it we have two bullish trader order blocks, which is exactly what we want in terms of added confidences. The 4-hour is also bullish on the graph, and so far we can see that this pullback has been corrective, so we definitely want to see a continuation of that. All right. And lastly, for our Forex analysis, we have Euro NZD with another bullish opportunity. Right here, we have a bullish shift in momentum. We can see that we swept liquidity to the downside right here with this fake out. And immediately after that, price showed its true intentions by breaking structure to the upside very impulsively with this bullish push. Okay, we can see that it was an impulsive break because I was able to identify this fair value gap that is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Right below it, we have a bullish trader order block as well. Daily and 4-hour are both bullish on the graph, and so far we can see that this pullback looks also nice and corrective. Okay, so yeah, on that note, we'll end today's Forex analysis right here. As always, if there's any other questions, you should reach out on Discord. Now I will go over today's metals analysis, starting off with gold, where I wasn't able to identify anything. Okay, yes, this would have been a good looking bearish range, but as we can see, it just triggered right there. Okay, hence why we'll just need to wait for some fresh structure, and from there we should be able to identify a new setup. On silver though, I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Right here we have a textbook break towards the downside caused by this bearish leg right here. Okay, after the break, imbalance was left behind. I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that is lining up with this bearish trader order block, as we can see, and they are both lining up with the area of interest of this bearish range. The 4-hour is also bearish on the trader graph, and the pullback has also been very nice and corrective, as we can see. Okay, the bearish pressure is still on, so yeah, this is definitely a valid setup that we can that we can take. All right, and yeah, on that note, we'll end today's metals analysis right here. As always, if there's any further questions, you should reach out on Discord. And now I will go over today's indices analysis, starting off with US 30. And to be fair, today on the indices, there's not really much to talk about. We had the FOMC yesterday that affected the markets in a big way when it comes to indices. And right now we can see that we are pretty much in the middle of nowhere, okay, on US 30. Hence why I'm just gonna sit on my hands and wait for some fresh structure. Same story on SPX. Okay, we can see we are pretty much in the middle of nowhere. We have some huge wicks. Like I said, price was affected by the high impact news from yesterday. Okay, so we just play it safe and simple. We just leave the chart as is and move on to the final indice, which is NAS 100, which again is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we have once again a lot of wicks to the up, to the downside. Price action was clearly affected by the news. Hence why there's no point for us to force any setups. We just need to focus on the clear ones that we already analyzed. And on the indices, we're just gonna let the price develop some fresh structure. And from there, we should be able to identify some new setups. Okay, so yeah, we shall end the indices analysis right here. There's not really much to talk about, so there's no reason for us to waste any time. And as always, if there's any other questions, you should reach out on Discord. And lastly, I will go over today's crypto analysis, starting off with Bitcoin, where I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Okay, right here, we have a continuation of this downwards push with this bearish break of structure right here that took price lower and left imbalance behind. I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The daily is also bearish on the trader graph, and so far we can see that the pullback is looking very nice and corrective, okay, which is exactly what we want because it means that the bearish pressure is still on. On Ethereum, once again, we have a bearish opportunity, okay. We have a bearish break right here, breaking multiple lows, which is a great added confluence. After the break, I was able to identify this fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest as well as with this bearish trader order block. Hey Max, Max said thanks Radu. You're welcome, brother. I'm glad to have you joining this session. I'm glad you are enjoying it. So back to what I was saying, okay, I was able to identify these two order blocks, okay. Daily and the 4-hour are also both bearish on the graph, And so far, once again, this pullback looks pretty corrective. So we definitely want to see a continuation of that. On Dogecoin, another bearish opportunity. The crypto market is pretty bearish right now, I'm not gonna lie. So right from the get-go, we can see that the daily and the 4-hour are both bearish on the trader graph. We have a break of structure right here, continuing this downward trend. After the break, I was able to identify this fair value gap that is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. And so far, we can see that the pullback is looking pretty nice and corrective as well. So once again, we would like to see a continuation of that. On XRP, I wasn't able to identify anything, okay? From here, I want to see a clear move either to the up or downside, and from there, we should be able to identify a new setup. And I think we have the same story on Solana as well. Yeah, although the price is pretty bearish, this right here would have been a very nice bearish range, but as we can see, it already triggered. Okay, it already triggered since yesterday when the news dropped, and yesterday we didn't trade. Okay, so yeah, same story on Solana as well. We just need to wait for some fresh structure. Until then, we shall focus on the setups that we already have, okay, and keep it simple. All right. And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's crypto as well as the overall daily analysis right here. As always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the dark side. Take care.